At 9:30 a.m., a birthday celebration turned into a chilling fight for survival on the edge of a 1,000-foot Hawaiian cliff. A respected doctor, a brilliant engineer, and what seemed like the perfect family, until paradise revealed a darkness that nearly ended in murder. A respected doctor, a brilliant engineer, and what seemed like the perfect family, until paradise revealed a darkness that nearly ended in murder. At exactly 9:30 a.m., on what should have been a joyful birthday morning, the silence of a Hawaiian cliffside was pierced by desperate screams for help. A woman was being dragged toward the edge, her husband's hands gripping her arms, trying to shove her into the abyss. Within minutes, what was meant to be a romantic getaway turned into a fight for survival. The man behind the assault was Dr. Gerhardt Konig, a respected anesthesiologist, a father, a professor, someone his community admired. He wasn't a criminal in the shadows. He was a trusted figure, someone who had sworn an oath to save lives. By his side was Arielle Worthington, his wife, a nuclear engineer, brilliant, accomplished, and fiercely independent. Together, they looked like the perfect couple. Two neighbors and colleagues, their marriage symbolized success. Two high achievers, raising children in paradise, building a dream life. But behind the smiles, Arielle's survival on that cliff wasn't just physical. It became a symbol of resilience. Her fight is a reminder that intelligence, education, and financial independence don't make anyone immune. Abuse is about power, control, and manipulation, and it can happen to anyone. Dr. Gerhardt Konig seemed to live the kind of life many would envy. Born in South Africa, he carved out a remarkable career after moving to the United States. He studied at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, one of the country's most respected institutions, for nearly a decade. He wore multiple hats: staff anesthesiologist at UPMC, clinical instructor, and assistant professor. He wasn't just practicing medicine, he was teaching it, guiding the next generation of doctors. Colleagues described him as meticulous and skilled. Patients trusted him with their lives, knowing his expertise could mean the difference between pain and relief, life and death. By the time he turned 46, his career had taken him far from Pittsburgh to the tropical paradise of Maui, Hawaii. In 2023, he joined Anesthesia Medical Group in Honolulu as a partner, solidifying his place as a respected figure in the medical community. On paper, Gerhardt had it all. He was financially secure, owning multi-million-dollar properties. In Pittsburgh, he had lived in a 6-bedroom home on Royal Avenue before selling it for $1.3 million. In December 2022, he and Arielle purchased a breathtaking $1.5 million property nestled in the West Maui Mountains, the kind of home that symbolized success. But appearances can deceive. His personal life had cracks long before Arielle. Gerhardt had been married once before. He carried on with his professional image intact. To his peers, he was the image of achievement. A father, a teacher, a doctor who saved lives. He hosted neighborhood parties, smiled in photographs, and seemed grounded. But this image was a mask. The successful doctor with everything wasn't as he appeared. Beneath the surface, there were signs of control. If Gerhardt represented medical prestige, Arielle embodied brilliance in science. She studied nuclear engineering at Penn State University, graduating in 2011. Her career at Westinghouse Electric Company spanned more than a decade. Where she worked in nuclear fuel engineering, she joined TerraPower LLC, a cutting-edge nuclear energy company founded by Bill Gates. In 2021, she earned her MBA from the University of Pittsburgh. Blending her technical expertise with business acumen, Arielle was not just accomplished, she was exceptional. In 2018, she married Gerhardt. To those who knew them, they seemed perfectly matched: the doctor and the engineer, both successful, both ambitious. Their family grew quickly. Their first son, Olin, was born in 2019, followed by their second, vowed, in 2022. Neighbors remembered them as warm, engaged parents. Their housekeeper described Arielle as loving and attentive, always putting her children first. From the outside, theirs was the kind of marriage others admired, intelligent, financially stable, raising two beautiful children in paradise. The first visible crack appeared in December 2024. Gerhardt accused Arielle of having an affair. It started with suspicion. Then came questions. Who was that texting you? Why didn't you tell me about that? Arielle later wrote in court filings that Gerhardt tried to monitor all her communications. This is how coercive control works. Arielle, a nuclear engineer who thrived on independence, suddenly found herself losing freedom. Therapy was their attempt at salvation, both individual and couples counseling. But therapy couldn't fix what was inside. Gerhardt, his jealousy deepened into possessiveness. In private writings, Arielle described how the man she loved transformed. He began sexually abusing and assaulting her, using control as justification. She no longer recognized the man she had married. The paradise they had built in Hawaii was crumbling. Arielle's marriage, once her safe place, had become a prison, and Gerhardt wasn't done tightening his grip. March 2025 marked Arielle's 36th birthday. Gerhardt suggested something romantic, a getaway to Oahu, just the two of them. To Arielle, this felt like hope. Maybe the therapy was working. Maybe this trip could rekindle what they once had. She left her two young sons in Maui with their nanny and family, believing this was a chance for healing. On March 24th, they hiked the Nuuanu Pali Lookout, a breathtaking viewpoint perched more than 1,000 feet above the valley. The trail they chose, the Pali Puka, was known for narrow paths and dangerous drop-offs. Warning signs explicitly told hikers not to continue past certain points. Many ignored them for the view, and Gerhardt insisted they do the same. Arielle felt uneasy. Something about the isolation, the terrain, the way Gerhardt insisted they get closer to the edge. She hesitated, even told him she felt dizzy. He pressed anyway, suggesting they take a selfie on the cliffside. It was supposed to be a birthday memory. Instead, it became the moment. Arielle realized she wasn't on a romantic hike. She was walking into a trap as Arielle stood near the cliff's edge. Gerhardt grabbed her arms and pushed. At first, she thought he was joking, but the force was real, the intent unmistakable. "Get back over there. I'm so sick of you," he shouted as he shoved her toward the drop. Arielle threw herself to the ground, desperate to get away. She screamed, begged him to think of their children, but Gerhardt wasn't listening. He reached into his bag and pulled out a syringe. An anesthesiologist, he had access to lethal drugs. Arielle didn't know what was inside, only that it could kill her. She bit his arm to stop him. When that failed, Gerhardt grabbed a jagged lava rock, the size of a softball, and smashed it into her head. Not once, but 10 times. He pulled her hair, bashed her face into the ground, each blow deliberate. At 10:30 a.m., hikers nearby heard screams, "Help, help me." 2 women rushed toward the sound and saw Arielle pinned to the ground, Gerhardt on top of her, striking her head. They shouted they were calling 911. Only then did Gerhardt stop. The women helped Arielle escape down the trail, bleeding, battered. She somehow walked toward safety. Arielle was alive, but barely, as Arielle lay bleeding on the jagged rocks. Bystanders rushed to her side. Paramedics arrived quickly and transported her to Queens Medical Center in Honolulu, where doctors fought to stabilize her. She had suffered severe head trauma, multiple facial fractures, and deep lacerations. Surgery was required to repair the damage. Against all odds, Arielle survived what should have been a certain death. Her resilience stunned even her medical team. While she clung to life in the hospital, Gerhardt vanished into the thick brush that surrounded the cliffside trail. For the next 8 hours, police combed the rugged terrain. Drones buzzed overhead, K9 units swept the ground, and helicopters circled as officers tried to track a man who knew the land well. During his time on the run, Gerhardt made a chilling call. He FaceTimed his adult son from his first marriage. His words were cold. By early evening, officers narrowed their search to an area near Poly Highway. At 6:45 p.m., headlights caught movement along the roadside. It was him. Gerhardt tried to flee, bolting into the darkness, but officers quickly gave chase. After a brief pursuit, they tackled him to the ground and placed him in handcuffs. It was in that moment, when faced with the reality of his arrest, that Gerhardt revealed the true depth of his mindset. His first words were not of concern for Arielle, not an apology, not even denial. Instead, he asked, "Wait, she's not dead?" Those words chilled everyone in earshot. They exposed his core, not a man overcome by temporary rage, but one who had calculated murder and was stunned only by his failure. No remorse, no regret, just shock that his plan had not succeeded as Arielle fought for her life in a hospital bed. The man she once trusted was led away in shackles. The contrast could not have been sharper. Investigators uncovered evidence that stripped away any illusion of spontaneity. Arielle discovered a small fanny pack tucked among Gerhardt's belongings. Inside was something chilling. Syringes filled with powerful drugs and anesthesia vials, a makeshift murder kit. When police searched their Maui home, they found even more syringes and controlled substances hidden away. Prosecutors quickly pieced together the truth. This wasn't a husband who lost his temper. This was a trained physician who planned to incapacitate his wife with medical precision, then finish what he started. Medical experts weighed in on the discovery. As an anesthesiologist, Gerhardt had an intimate knowledge of how drugs work on the human body. The syringe wasn't a weapon of chance. It was a tool chosen for its efficiency. He knew exactly how much to inject. He knew how fast unconsciousness would descend, and he knew how easily life could slip away under his control to outsiders. To investigators, they were undeniable proof of intent. The drugs weren't part of his daily practice. They weren't there by mistake. They were gathered, stored, and carried for one specific purpose. The image of a trusted doctor, a man once praised for saving lives. Carrying poison in his pocket to kill his wife left even seasoned detectives shaken. It was a betrayal of his oath, his profession, and his family. This wasn't improvisation. He wasn't guessing. He was planning, step by step, syringe by syringe. He prepared to turn his medical expertise into murder, and that cold, calculated preparation would become one of the most damning pieces of evidence against him. In April 2025, the courtroom was packed when Gerhardt Konig entered to face charges of attempted second-degree murder. He stood in his crisp suit, a doctor once admired, now shackled by his own violence. When asked for his plea, he spoke firmly, not guilty. His defense attorney painted him as a man with no prior criminal record, a respected physician who posed no flight risk. They pushed for bail, hoping the court would show leniency to someone who had once been trusted with lives. But the judge saw the gravity of the case, the chilling evidence, the syringe, the rock, the near-death attack. With a firm voice, bail was denied. Gerhardt would remain behind bars until trial. Meanwhile, Arielle was fighting her own battle. She filed for divorce, determined to sever every tie with the man who nearly killed her. She sought full custody of her two sons, shielding them from the shadow of their father's actions. Her body bore the scars of the cliffside assault, stitches, bruises, lingering pain, but her spirit was unbroken. She refused to let those wounds define her future. Recovery was grueling. There were surgeries, therapy sessions, sleepless nights, haunted by the memory of the attack. Yet Arielle pressed forward, leaning on her support system, rebuilding her life, piece by piece. What could have silenced her instead ignited a fire. Her attorney confirmed she would testify at the trial, scheduled for September 2025. Arielle would not stay hidden. She would not let fear dictate her life. Standing in court, facing the man who betrayed her trust, She was determined to show the world the truth. Arielle's decision to testify transformed her from victim to warrior. And in that decision lay the clearest message of all. She was not only surviving, she was standing against him publicly, fearlessly and unshakably. Arielle's story is not just about surviving a brutal attack. It is about shattering the dangerous illusion that abuse only happens in broken or chaotic households. She was educated, accomplished, independent. She was raising children, building a career in one of the most demanding fields in the world, and by all appearances, living the dream. Yet behind closed doors, she was being controlled, accused, and silenced by the man who vowed to love her. This is the truth about domestic abuse, according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. More than 10 million people are physically abused by an intimate partner each year in the United States. Arielle's case is a chilling reminder of what can happen when those warnings are ignored or minimized. Yet, her survival also carries a message of hope. Despite being drugged, bludgeoned, and pushed toward death, she fought back. She bit through fear, broke free, and lived to tell her story. Today, she is using her voice not just for herself, but for every survivor who feels trapped, every victim who feels unseen. Her courage reminds us of something vital. Silence protects the abuser, never the abused. Speaking up, reaching out, and believing survivors can mean the difference between life and death. Arielle's story is a call to action for families, for communities, and for society, to listen, to intervene, and to support. Abuse hides in plain sight, but together, by breaking the silence, we can bring it into the light.